This past Monday was our cutoff date. Both the House and the Senate by Monday had to get all policy bills that are not necessary to implement the budget out of their respective House of origin. So we spent about the last 10 days on the floor for the bulk of the days, oftentimes working late into the evening and night, passing legislation that had come from various committees, education bills, bills related to health and human services, bills related to the environment, and now both respective houses will hear the bills that have come from the other committee. So now that we've resumed committee work on Tuesday, we're hearing all the House bills that successfully passed out of the House of Representatives, and the House is hearing the bills that the Senate passed out. Fortunately, 5 of my bills all were passed out of the Senate over to the House for consideration, all with unanimous votes. 2 bills that I passed take significant strides towards improving consumer protection. One is significantly restricts the practice of private transfer fees on real estate. The other updates a law over 30 years old, the Collection Agency Act, to get it in line with new technologies we have today so that there are rules around how debtors may be contacted via cell phone, text messaging, facsimile, and at work. Next Wednesday, my Senate Bill 5154, which addresses vehicle prowls, will be heard in the House committee. That bill will increase punishments for repeat offenders, similar to what the legislature did in 2008 with regard to auto thefts. After 2008 and the passage of the auto theft legislation, we saw a nearly 60% decline statewide in auto thefts. Simultaneously, we saw an increase of over 80% of vehicle prowls. So we're hoping this legislation will not only reduce the number of vehicle prowls that are occurring, but will also save the state some money in the number of defendants that are being brought into our criminal justice system. This week, Senate Bill 5625, which has to do with the non-expiring licenses for child care providers, was heard in the House Early Learning and Human Services Committee. This bill does have a House companion that's going to be heard in our Senate Education Committee, but what the bill does is it cuts some red tape and rewards good actors, licensed child care providers that don't have significant complaints on their record, to, instead of having to go through a 3-year, very onerous relicensing process, can annually submit a predetermined list of documentation showing that they're in compliance, that they haven't had major complaints, and will significantly streamline the licensing process for these folks so they can spend more time focused on improving curriculum and child care, which is where we want all of our scarce dollars going. I'm really excited to report that both the House and Senate bills having to do with the North Puget Sound University Center made it through both of their respective houses. So the House will be considering the Senate version that we passed, prime sponsored by Senator Haugen, and the Senate will be hearing the version that the House passed, prime sponsored by my seatmate, Representative Mike Sells. Both bills were amended so that the Higher Education Coordinating Board and a process that they created a couple years ago in the legislature called the Systems Design Process will confirm that in fact there is a capacity shortage in Snohomish County, Skagit County, and Island County in terms of, in particular, STEM degrees, science, technology, engineering, and math, and work towards the process of integrating Washington State University into the University Center as what will hopefully become a 4-year university down the road, providing new opportunities for residents in Snohomish County, Island County, Skagit County, and much needed workforce for our high-tech and aerospace businesses throughout the region.